Friends, thanks for joining me today. Imagine if I shared with you that in the growing world of trade across lands and plans for power between countries, the People's Republic of China has made a strong move with one of its top but often not fully got winning plays. What if the phone you hold in your hand, the power run car you might steer, and the top fight planes that guard the skies over the land all carry the same big weak spot? One held tight by a single power rival, and suppose that rival just chose to make that weak spot into a real hit tool. With a step that shakes world buyer spots and guard heads all over, Beijing has put in wide new holds on sends out for a bunch of must-have stuff, turning a sleeping money pull into a real arm of land rule. This smart play hits not just the known group of special earth pulls or REEs, but reaches to power hold batteries, graphite pulls, and even made diamonds, stuff that makes the base of the 21st century world money flow. While the open reason for these holds has been named as guarding land safe, the time of the say-out, set just days before a high bet meet between the heads of the United States and China, leaves no real doubt about its true aim. It stood as a plain, no mix-up sign of Beijing's will to turn its holdover must-bring paths into a hit. At its heart, this clash goes past the plain money of pulling earth stuff and trade. It stands as a base fight for hold, for world power pull, and for the very tomorrow of tech all by itself. The fresh send-out holds work as a straight and big hit to the American Army makes setup, which has grown, in a worry way, leaned on these China-held riches. On top, by touching stuff must for the world turn to clean power, China has put itself right at the join of both land-safe and air-change tech, two of the biggest shapers of our time. The word from Beijing comes sharp. The road to top weapon, and a green tomorrow runs straight through its land. An open path to that road isn't sure anymore. This planned step has changed the ways of the U.S.-China match, climbing tight and making Washington face a planned weak spot that has grown over years. The time of guessing full open paths to world tide bring paths has ended. A fresh, more fightful part, marked by hold on riches and top tech rule, has started. Now, to really get the full size of China's plan play, you first have to see the special and can't skip side of the stuff at the middle of the clash. Special Earth pulls, often called REEs, make a group of 17 parts on the list of Earth stuff, adding the 15 lanthanides along with scandium and yttrium. Their name feels a bit wrong. Against what it hints, these parts aren't super rare in how much sits in the Earth's skin. Their real worth and the why they matter so much sits not in how little there is, but in their special build at the small level, which gives them no-match pull and flow ways. These special sides make them must-have, can't-swap parts in a wide spread of new tech, working as the must-small bits of the factory world, needed in tiny bits but full key for how well things run. The uses of REEs touch the full spread of new daily ways, from plain buyer stuff to the most smart tools of land power. In the buyer and factory sides, they stand as the quiet motors driving the new money flow. The strong, lightweight special earth pull magnets they make are based to the motors in power-run cars or EVs, and the makers and wind turners, putting them right at the heart of the world clean power turn. They matter big for data houses that run the web, and they sit in countless high-tech buyer power tools. From the bright light bits that make the colors on a hand phone screen to the small parts that let for strong think in a whole device. Their place in land guard runs even deeper. The United States Army leans heavy on special earth pull magnets and parts for its top weapon setups. These parts can't get skipped for the right aim guided hits that lean on smart aim setups, for the strong radar lines that spot dangers from hundreds of miles off, and for the quiet, good motors that push nuclear underwater boats through sea deeps. A new fight plane like the F-35 holds hundreds of pounds of special earth stuff, which matter full for its top sensors, power fight setups, and run setups. Without a sure flow of these parts, the tech top that has long been the main stone of American Army teach sits in real danger. The tough of getting these parts gets worse by the huge hard of working them. While REEs may sit full in earth, they rarely show in thick, easy pull spots. Instead, they often mix with other earth stuff, mostly in low bits, calling for a tricky and long step of pull and split. This step isn't just tech hard and pricey, but full of big earth dangers. The pull often needs the use of rough chems and acid pull ones to split the worth parts from the around ore. If not handled with top care and under tight rule watch, these steps can lead to big earth hurt, adding soil dirt and the pollute of groundwater with bad and sometimes shine bad by ends. It was just this earth tough mixed with high work pay costs that led lots of Westlands, adding the United States, to move their special earth work skill far off years ago, without meaning making the road for China's last top in the side. You see, China's now tight hold on the world special earth buyer spot isn't from an earth chance or a luck find. It counts as the planned outcome of a set, weightful, and years-long factory plan. The split in the roads taken by the United States and China can trace back to the 1980s. During this time, the United States, once a world lead in special earth making, centered at the Mountain Pass mine in California, started to step down its pull and work run step by step. The S-pick came from a mix of reasons, adding climbing worry over the bad waste made during work, rising work pay costs, and a short sea watch on quick gain over far-off plan safe. American factory and rule makers failed to see the growing mean of these stuff, seeing them as a small buyer spot, not the main stone of tomorrow tech. In full other, while the U.S. pulled back, China moved ahead with Plan C ahead. Under the lead of Deng Xiaoping, who set out, the Middle East has oil, China has rare earths, Beijing saw the huge world power pull of these earth pulls. The Chinese team started to push hard into the side, backing state-held companies, growing top metalwork skill, and lifting making on a never-seen size. By using lower work pay costs and running underway weaker earth rules, Chinese makers could flood the world buyer spot with full low-cost special earth stuff. This rush of cheap stuff step by step undercut fight ones around the world, making it money can't do for pull spots and work plants in the U.S., Australia, and other places to stay gain. One by one, they shut their runs, leaving the field near full to China. By the time Westland had started to wake to the plan meanings of this turn, a near full hold had set firm. The real smart of China's plan, though, sits in its watch on holding the most key tight spot in the bring path, not just pull, but work and clean. While China now counts for about 70% of the world pull of special earth ore, its top in the middle and end steps of the bring path runs even more full. It holds over 90% of the world room for the tricky metal steps needed to split single special earth oxides and clean them into high clean metals and mixes. This makes a key lean that traps even lands with their own pull runs. For one, even when special earth ore gets pulled from the ground in friend lands like the United States or Australia, the end mix often loads on ships and heads to China for the must-end work steps. Without open to Chinese clean spots, the raw ore holds little real use. The numbers draw a sharp picture of this plan top. Today, China holds near 50% of all known world special earth holds, making a long-time flow sure. Its hold goes past just REEs. It also gives 60% of the world's antimony, a must-earth pull used in fire stop and Army uses, and works near one-third of all cleaned must stuff worldwide. This full hold over the whole web from pull to magnet gives Beijing huge pull. It can shape world prices any way it likes, give steady flow to friend lands, and hit world power fight ones with holds and blockouts a power it now starts to use with sure. The West's short-time money guesses in the late 1900s have led to a deep plan weak spot in the 21st. The ends of this years-long plan overseas have now hit a top in a land-safe weak spot of wild size for the United States. The land's guard factory base, the very store of free rule, has turned deep and danger leaned on its top world power fight, other for the stuff must, to its tech edge. A groundbreak word by the guard smart firm Gabelli, titled From Rock to Rocket, shows full the size of this lean, saying out that America's top and must weapon setups get built over most with earth pulls and parts that start in or get worked by China. This isn't a side issue hitting a few small setups. It is a base weak that spreads the full American Army setup. The plain size of this lean runs breathtaking. The Gabelli word found that a wild 80,000 single parts mixed across near 1,900 different U.S. Army weapon setups hold earth pulls from or worked in China. In full, this means that a shocking 78% of all setups in the Guard of Defense, or DoD, list get touched by the Chinese bring path. This weak isn't kept to one arm of the fight forces, but runs full across, making a web of leans that would turn super hard and timeful to undo. The words finds work as a sharp hit word on a by P. Land that put cost and smooth run over, bring path bend, and land safe. Breaking down the numbers by Army arm shows an even more worry picture. The U.S. Navy, which shows American power over the globe, sits the most open. A wild 92% of its 739 weapon setups, from underwater boats to air carry boats to Aegis run boats, lean on Chinese-sourced earth pulls for their top power tools, sound spot, and push setups. The U.S. Air Force, the back of American air top, isn't far back with 85% of its 302 different setups, adding bomb droppers, fight planes, and watch drones, leaned on these stuff. The U.S. Army shows a 70% lean across its huge list of heavy roll ones, airlift ones, and talk gear, while even the Quick Marine Group has over 60% lean on Chinese brings in for its must gear. To move from plain numbers to a real one, think of the F-35 Lightning II fight plane, the top and priciest weapon plan in American past, and the tech mainstone of the U.S. Air Force, Navy, and Marine Group. Each F-35 plane holds over 900 pounds of special earth stuff. These stuff aren't pick-on. They stand base to the plane's fifth-step skills, adding its strong anti-spot APG-81 AESA radar, its smart spread-open setup for 360-degree spot no, and its top power fight setup. Should China pick to full hold or stop the send-out of the needed clean special earths, the making lines for the F-35 and countless other must-guard setups could slow, stuck, or full stop. This isn't a think danger anymore. Beijing's late steps show a clear will to use this lean as a push arm, turning America's biggest army worth into maybe plan weak spots. Woke to the grave danger from its bring path weak spots, the United States has at last started to move a real though late answer, seeing that buyer forces alone can't fight China's land push factory plan. The American team, mixed with the free money SID, has kicked off a high bet work to bring home and spread the full special earth web. This huge job holds big public puts, new money ways, and a fresh will to rebuild a home factory base that has slept for years. The goal isn't just to open a few pull spots, but to remake the full worth path from raw ore pull to the making of high-do full-last magnets. A main base of this fresh plan is straight step-in and put from the Guard of Defense. Under the power of the defense making law, the DoD has given near $540 million to back home and friend special earth and must earth pull bring path. This cash gets used through a special and smart money plan set to cut risk for free puts in a buyer spot long twisted by Chinese price play. Not leaning on plain gives, the DoD uses a mix of tools, adding like share loans and, most key, the set of sure price lows for homemade stuff. This way faces the main wall to step in for West firms, China's skill to crash world prices any time to break any new fight other. By making sure a gain price point, the U.S. team makes a steady and can count on put air. In that way, pulling free cash to flow into these long left sides. At the front of this factory new start sit a few key company players. The most out there is MP Materials, which holds and runs the Mountain Pass mine in California, the land's only run special earth spot at full size. The company has turned a flag of the American work, getting a $400 million put from the DoD and locking a $1 billion loan from money big ones, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, to grow its runs downstream into magnet making. Key, MP Materials gains from a DoD price low will of $110 per kilogram for neodymium praseodymium, or NdPr, a main bit for full-last magnets. This price, sure, set at near double the now wild buyer rate, has made the company way more bankhold and has sent a strong sign to the buyer spot that the U.S. means real about making a real other to Chinese top. With this back, MP Materials AI misses to push hard its making of done special earth magnets from 1,000 metric tons in 2025 to 10,000 metric tons by 2028. Other companies also play must roles in this growing web. In Utah, Energy Fuel Smart uses its old OK and billed as a shine pull work spot to clean monazite sands, a high worth start full in special earths. The company already makes new NdPr oxide at buyer size, with enough now room to give about 1 million power run cars, and has big plans to grow its out to serve up to 6 million EVs. Meanwhile, a fresh wave of jobs comes up across the land, with companies like Ramco Resources working to pull special earths from coal holds in Wyoming, Vulcan Elements planning to make magnets for the Army in North Carolina, and Novon Magnetics in Texas shaping new reuse and making ways. Past new pull, the U.S. also looks for other sources. Tech Big Apple has made a big put in MP Materials to shape a bring path for magnets made full from reused stuff, showing a growing want in making a more round and last home money flow for these must parts. Past these full home works, U.S. plan more and more sees that true bring path bend can't get done alone. A key part of this fight back plan is the strong of teams and the push of what gets called friendshoring, a set work to repoint bring paths away from fight lands and towards sure mates and friends. This way owns that while bringing home making is the best for some must stuff, it isn't always doable or money good to copy the full tricky bring path inside U.S. lines alone. Instead, the goal sits to build a spread net of sure sellers who share same free worths and plan wants, in that way making a group shield against push money plays from any one land. This talk and money kickoff gets chased through different world meets, most out the four-side safe talk, the Quad, which brings together the United States, Australia, Japan, and India. In this frame, Australia has come as a mainstone of the West world's plan to spread its special earth flow. As one of the world's biggest makers of special earth ore outside China, Australia gives a safe and sure source of raw stuff. Companies like Lynas Rare Earths, which runs the Mount Weld mine in Western Australia, have turned plan must. Lynas now stands as the only big maker of split special earths outside China, with a work spot in Malaysia, and now, with DoD cash back, builds a heavy special earth split spot in Texas. This team-up stands as a top one of friendshoring in work. Australian riches get mixed with American factory room to build a crossland bring path free from Chinese hold. In the same way, Japan with its top making and tech skill in magnet making, and India with its not used earth holds and growing factory base, get seen as key mates in this long-time work to pull riches and water down China's buyer top, this world team-up isn't kept to the Indo-Pacific. The Europe group has also woke to its own weak spots, kicking its must-raw stuff law to quick pull, and clean jobs in the group and to shape plan teams far off, making a side work that backs the wider West push for bring path spread and safe. But even with this rush of puts and fresh land watch, the road to breaking America's lean on China for special earth parts stays long and full of strong, tough spots. The sharp truth is that it takes years on years, not just short bits, to build a full, free, bend strong, and money fight full end bring path. The step of finding doable earth holds, locking okay, raising pull spots, building tricky clean spots and magnet make plants, and setting the must-back build is a huge job. Years of no watch and far-off move can't turn back in one night. So, smart ones guess that the United States will likely keep bringing in near 30,000 tons of done special earth magnets each year, all the way through 2030, as homemaking will fight to match the climbing want from the EV energy and guard sides. The walls go way past cash puts and body build. Two of the biggest gaps in the American web are people and chem. Over the past 40 years, as the side moved east, the United States has lost deep its special metalwork work group, the deep know without say and hand-do skill needed for the tricky chem of splitting and cleaning 17 like parts now sits over most in China. Rebuilding this people worth will call for a joined land work set on school plans, work teach, and group grow to shape a fresh line of American metalworkers and chem build smart ones. On top, the special earth bring path leans on another bring path, the making of special chem pull ones needed for the split step. China also runs a top world giver of lots of these must chems, making yet another code of lean that must get faced to reach true bring path free. In the end, the run for earth free has grown from a small money issue into a must now land stay alive spot in a fresh time of big power match. The United States has at last woke to the danger and takes bold and must steps to reclaim its factory-free rule. While reaching a full cut apart from the Chinese bring path in the short time of 2 to 5 years sits as an unreal goal, the quick aim is to show real step-by-step do and a full land will that doesn't bend. The puts in companies like MP Materials and Energy Fuels, backed by the planned money will of the Guard of Defense, count as a must first step. The hope sits that by turning years of rule words and law steps into real on-ground factory room, the United States can send a strong and can't-miss sign to Beijing. This sign isn't one of quick free, but of a real and set work to dull China's push-pull, in the end aiming to change its rule way and put back a more steady and safe, even to the world flow of the land's most must riches.